In the picture,
You know, just like, hey, I heard this.
you're live, okay.
No, that's good
There might
information.
not be anything to it.
Me, where the actual's gone to, I don't know, that way we can see them easier. I get a crook in my neck looking
Do you want me to sign next to that?
Yeah, just, I
Sign that?
mistakenly.
That's fine.
started.
Yep, I just want to double check with it.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's good to know because they were planning on.
I can't really see the
Well, I think
details.
they have- I
My
live
son
on
can
5
see
years
it
right now.
Mhm.
Because they recently got, I wanted to do, they wanted a 3 year. He's like, no, I need 5. Okay, I'm the same, with a little percentage.
Okay, we're gonna get started here. It's Monday, March 13th at 7:32 for the pledge and a short devotion. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do bow your heads. Dear Lord, we thank you so much for the workers that are here and the good things they do in our township to benefit our community. We pray that you give us wisdom to make best decisions available and be with our workers to keep them safe. Amen. Okay, so have you had a chance to look at the agenda? I do have one addition under new business, and that's some SCOG business. I'll bring that up then. Anybody else?
I got one thing I knew we'll take, it's not, just want to let you know something.
Okay,
I have nothing.
I'll have a couple, I have one under new business, I'll have some updates on the fire, some stuff I have for fire.
okay. All right, so let's go on down to the minutes from February 27th. We have a motion.
Trustee Chair, moves to accept them as presented.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
While we're doing this, I will let everyone know that I will be absent from the next meeting and Mr. Perro will fill in for me. Vacation.
Fast one.
Have you had a chance to review the financial report, treasurer's report, and is there a motion to approve that as presented?
Trustee Varian moved to approve as presented.
Trustee Chair, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And with that, public speaks. There's only one little person here. Does he have anything to
Do you
say?
have anything to say?
All right.
All right, we're gonna move on
Good job, buddy.
to the fire report. Chief Pargo.
Okay, I have just a couple of things. I have a recommendation to hire Tyler 9. I wish his name was not Tyler because this makes 3, but it is what it is. He is trained to the EMT basic and then 240 on the fire side. And he is a resident of the township. Lives at the corner of Belfort and 172. So
Which side? East or west?
west.
So do we have a motion to hire Tyler 9?
Real quick, just a point of reference, Tyler, and this might help us in the future. Tyler's job before he just changed jobs, he was in charge of repairing and servicing all of the Canton City fire trucks. So he was the lead mechanic
Wow.
to fix all the fire trucks in the city. He's since moved to their parks department to work on mowers and dump trucks and other things. One of the reasons for that is because he was on call in that job. So if something would go down, he'd have to go in the middle of the night and fix it.
Okay.
But I say that because if we decide to hire him tonight, he comes with knowledge of emergency equipment, which is great.
And his fire training is there, everything he needs. What's the class that he comes in at?
So on the fire side, he's a 240, so that's the highest level on the fire side, and he's an EMT, so he's not a paramedic, but he's an EMT.
Okay.
Dollar amount hourly.
It would be the 15, what is the EMT rate? Not the 1685, the other one.
Amy, did he give you kind of an idea of what he's thinking? I assume he's thinking probably some weekends.
Mostly weekends.
Great, we need that.
Yes.
That's great.
Yep.
Trustee Varian, unless there's more discussion, Trustee Varian moves to hire Tyler 9.
Trustee Carroll seconds.
All in favor?
Aye. Brian, do we need a start date for him? What's going to be best for you?
Amy,
He's probably ready to go, isn't he?
he can start like now or when?
Whatever you say.
He can start, I mean, the pay period start on Sundays, so I mean, if you have him this week and you want to use him yet this week, they could start him this pay period.
Okay,
So we'll approve that hire as of today, the 13th.
okay.
Great.
And is this other one just informational for now?
That's the other guy.
That's the one we
We
already hired.
already did.
Yeah.
That's one
Okay.
I-
Brian said he needed that, so I can put that in there.
Perfect.
And you've got one more on your desk, right, Amy?
I do need his other information updated, not just his app,
Okay,
like his deposits, like
Okay.
to verify his banking and his federal and state income tax. stuff,
Okay.
Because
So
I do not have an
W2.
updated of that.
right, W4. I forget what you put.
What are the chances of getting these guys to come to a meeting with us?
Again,
I just, you
Yeah.
hire somebody and you don't even
Sure.
know what they look like.
Yeah, it would be nice to have him.
It doesn't, I mean, there's no mandatory, but if they could come, sometimes
Yep.
it works out from.
we can.
Have you had any fire calls for burning during during restricted hours?
This is a payback to me.
I don't think so. We got called for an open burn in the village last week, I think, last Monday. It was burning that somebody said got out of control. But March, April, and May are burn ban during the day, so.
I just had seen one and I wondered if someone had called in or not. But it wasn't in the village.
Nope.
Okay, what else, your other report, your calls?
The other thing on here is asking to send 3 people to so TECC is basically training us in like a mass casualty sort of situation. So, school shooting or any kind of multiple casualty situation. Unfortunately, as much as we want to say, it's probably not going to happen here. It's a possibility. And I want to add that it's $50 per person, so this cost of $150 would be for all 3 of those members wanting to go. And the class that we were sending Tyler Palm to at Stark State got canceled, so that money was refunded, that entire amount, or is in the process.
It's in the process, it hasn't got back.
So my question would be, if we send 3 of them at once, does that make us short for coverage?
I don't know the answer to that.
And where's the class at?
It is in Canton. It's 2 days, 2 days during the day in Canton.
And what is a TECC class?
It is the good question. Tactical emergency casualty care.
Sounds like a good class.
It's it's essentially mass casualty, taking care of
Taking
more
care of.
people than you have resources for.
Yeah.
So if you think about all of the shootings that have been happening, it's basically
Yeah.
teaching them, okay, how do we manage this many people
Yeah.
at one time?
How do you manage
Well,
15 people that need an ambulance? You have 1 ambulance.
essentially.
So do we have that in the budget? All right, I'll make a motion that we allow Nelson, Winger, and Palm to attend the TECC class at a cost of $150.
Trustee Bill seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that something that's gonna get billed, invoiced?
Can.
Okay.
The last thing I want to ask about, just, we had talked before, Fiscal Officer Lowry had mentioned the change of internet. Is there an actual like time frame for that? The internet at the station is pretty much non-existent.
What's going on right now is March 22nd, they're coming here to
Okay.
change over everything here. It's been confirmed. And once that is done, the phone lines are here. The next move is to come to you guys, which will be the first, second week in April, I'd have to say.
Okay,
I'm coordinating that through Philip and the Spectrum rep,
okay,
because at your facility, you gotta do multiple things. You have a TV set up like now on a certain modem,
sure,
and you also have to have the modem for the television or the phones. And because you have multiple lines in there, I want to make sure that runs very smooth when it goes in there. And Philip seems very confident he can make it all happen with the help of Spectrum being there.
okay,
I will, trustees, update you. That was one of my other things that are under the old township business here, about township phones and all. This AT&T, all these years we've been messing with them, and I've been trying to get this done. The contracts don't end with AT&T for the phone lines until August. The cost to maintain, like getting out early, is about $30 a month. But right now, the estimated cost for Spectrum at just here is only $60 a month. Right now, we're presently paying $289 a month.
holy cow,
So the savings will be considerable, because the same thing will happen up at the fire station. The fire station on AT&T, just for phones, is $380 some a month. The AT&T internet is over $50 some a month up there. So those combined savings, I'm looking, we should be saving a few $1,000s a year once this gets all completed.
I have one more thing to add. I'm sorry, I should have said it at the beginning. I wanted to offer up an idea, and I don't know if we're allowed to spend funds this way, but I was going to ask. Chief Park and I were talking a little bit, and I was curious to know if we were able to spend taxpayers' dollars on social media. And the reason I ask that, I know right now that, the fire department handles the Facebook and things like that. I'm looking at, my own life. I pay a guy right now to do some of my social. And so he puts up 3 posts a week. I pay him for that service. It's professional. It's posted without, fail. I would forget or not do it. But as I think about the fire department, and even in this levy, it might not happen now, or it might be in the future, but we could put things like the burn ban. We could put things like, hey, the fun fact about a fire. We could put pictures of the equipment. But I pay my guy $250 a month, and he posts 12 posts for me. And all I do is provide content. He does all the graphics, all the digital, post it for me. And I feel like that's good bang for the buck for what it is. I think I'm paying probably under what a lot of people are paying for their social. But I didn't know if that was legal to spend money that way to be able to promote what we do. And you also could then put up, we're hiring. You also could then put up pancake breakfast. And, not that they're not doing it, doing a nice job.
You want to do that on their social Facebook, or you want to do it on our website?
Both.
Because Bill does our website, Castle Ray. I mean,
Yeah.
he does that for the village and all them, but you got to pay him for that.
Sure.
Just like you are.
Sure.
Knowing that
I would
price.
say both platforms, and Facebook and Instagram, on both.
And he needs to know the rules of what can be put on there.
I just didn't know if we were allowed to spend funds that way.
You're allowed to spend funds to do
Okay.
that.
But he takes care of the graphics. So.
Yeah, this guy does everything. We would send, you could send him a black and white email that had some information on what was coming, pancake breakfast. He would put the graphics together, send it out, hit all of our people. It looked professional, and then they're not worried about having to do it. All they have to do is produce the content. That's all they'd have to do, and shoot it over to them. So I'm not saying right now, maybe we wait to get through the levy, but I think as we move forward, it would really be great. As I'm scrolling through social, I'm like, oh, there's a picture of the firefighters out there doing one of their trainings. And then you flip through and like, oh, we got a pancake breakfast going on. But, somebody that's paid to just continue to put the information out there to the people. I don't know. That's just an idea, just a thought. So we can come back to it another time, but I wanted to try that. So that's all I have.
Okay. Anything else for Chief Parker? All right.
I have one more thing. I'm going to talk about it now. The, how we have our check collection agency is RBS right now.
Yeah.
Ohio Billing, because that's dealing with, the fire department had sent this to us, that they're recommending changing all our delinquent payments to this company, which is the state auditors. And what I needed to, I read it through, I had Sue read it through, we've talked to Ohio Billing. They highly recommend this. It's not to knock who we were at, but it's easier for them to work with that because that's a government entity. Supposedly that would be easier for them. Hopefully it is. But I asked them, would you recommend? Because I'll tell that to the trustees, and they highly recommended them. They have great.
So what's the fees comparison or
The fees are, we don't pay anything. They get the fee.
if they collect?
If they collect. And the fees are like with that state, it'll say in there like how they do that. But they have a better success rate of getting money.
They're just a collection agency. Right, they're just a collection agency.
Yeah. And it's automatic, like Ohio Billing sends it to them automatic, but right now I bring it to you. It's an automatic thing. As soon as someone is in default, it automatically goes to them. It's a quicker process.
What do they take, 30%?
What's that,
Do
Randy?
you know what percentage it doesn't matter, I just wondered, what percentage?
Yeah, the percentage, they didn't say it, but the percentage from what Ohio Billing's telling me is better than where we're at now.
Do you want a motion for those?
Yeah, because we,
What's the name of it?
It's the State Attorney General.
State Attorney General's office.
Trustee moves to use the state attorney general for delinquent bills. Delinquent, I don't know which one, fire bills.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Can that be right now? Like if we tell them we want to be done, are we going to
Yeah.
contract with the other one or no? We can walk out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me make sure there's no place for you to sign. I was thinking I could sign this thing.
I know the
Yeah.
college uses the Attorney General.
Oh, yeah?
Actually, yeah, they gave us a sheet that has the wrong one.
That's because
I'll
when the
get
attorney general comes up, you get people a little more focused
Yeah, you're fine.
than just a rant.
Ears perk up a little bit when they call. You're right. You're right.
They got it right there. But they had us up here, so.
When you're getting a call from the debt collector, you're not getting a call from one debt collector.
You
You're
do
getting
that.
multiple.
And I put it on there, but there's a place to sign.
Didn't pay the cap.
Whoops.
That's what the penalty was. And it was in August. So I didn't contact.
Amy, anything else? That's the bad. I can put that down there. There you go. All right, we're going to move on to the cemetery report.
No, Ryan didn't contact with anything, and I don't think anything was going on these last 2 weeks since the last meeting.
Okay. So no report on the cemetery. We're going to move to the road report, and let's stop here. And Chief Parker, if you need to leave, you're
Yeah,
welcome to go.
I'm going to excuse Ms. Parker.
You're excused. And
Bye,
then
Toby.
Mr. Unkerfer, road superintendent.
All right, good evening, everybody. The trustees read over the road report. Is there any questions you'd like to ask?
When you went to Marlboro, did they have a discount on anything or not?
Oh, yeah,
So did you order some things?
yes.
Thank you.
I didn't know if they were still, I know they had the other stuff. I didn't know if they were still doing the discount.
Yes.
So what did we order?
That's the, well, we ordered all the pipe for that job out on Argyle, that 4-foot,
Okay.
48-inch pipe. And then I ordered, well, I was actually gonna order a dozen of the 12-inch. But Scott called me back after I left there and came back here. And we had talked it over, and I ended up ordering, I think, 3 more sticks of the 12 and a few other things, which helped us get up to a certain number, which knocked us down a lot more on that big pipe. Knocked another $1.50 a foot off.
Good.
So that really helped on even more so on top of that discount
Okay,
by doing that. So we always go through the 12-inch anyways.
Yeah.
I've got quite a few driveways to do and stuff.
Stu, off the top of your head, do you know what the 24, is it 20 foot or 24 foot of a 12-inch stick is? That's a
20 foot.
It's 20
They
foot.
come in 20-foot sticks.
What's the common price on that? Because a lot of the residents, that's what they put in their driveway.
I don't think it's changed any. Right now, the 12-inch is $8.20 a foot. That comes out to $164 for a 12-foot stick. And I don't think that price has actually changed for almost a year now. It's leveled out instead of stuff keep going up all the time.
Does a resident get the price of the deal price, or do we say at what's today's market if you had to replace it? Like say, like if you went through 5 or 10 of your stock and you had to replenish, do they get it?
I have to kind of wait and see when that comes back to see how much we actually got priced on that, because normally it's $8.20 straight across the board. You know, if it's not a special going on, like at the beginning of the year like this, where we go to that open house, that's normally what the actual going price is for the 12-inch is $8.20 a foot. That's our price. That's what I charge them. Now, what I get here at the beginning of the year, depending on how their discount is, it could be a little less than that $8.20 a foot, but.
Yeah, but I don't think we should try and.
No.
We should charge whatever we're paying. That way he knows what it is.
I gotta figure that out, what that is.
Well, but I mean, instead of trying to call for current pricing when you're going out.
Well, I had to because stuff kept
I'm
going up
talking about
last
if you
year.
got it sitting here for a month and then you
Yeah.
go out and put a piece in trying to just charge them whatever it is.
Right.
Pay for it.
And then the next people pay the higher price.
Right.
That's why I brought it up, because he does get caught like at the end of the season when he has to buy a couple or special orders.
Right.
Like we've
Well,
already used up our
Right.
special deal price.
Too bad you couldn't get a nice big marker and just right on the pipe, like, but you paid a foot to let it sit out there. So you put it in, you're like,
Well,
oh,
I
okay,
mean,
we paid $1.45.
Before it came up to COVID, you know, you got your price sheet they sent to us every year. And it was, you know, that was this price list for the whole year.
Okay,
No, nothing ever went up and down. After COVID hit,
it all over the place.
oh, everything was just going skyrocketing. And like I said that one time, I went and called about 18-inch pipe, got the price on it, waited till the next morning, called back to order it for sure.
It
And it
changed.
went up 40 cents overnight a
Yeah.
foot.
What about the fill that you're putting in? What are you using for fill around that pipe?
304 crushed concrete.
Oh, that's plentiful. 304.
I've been
The
going
57s
and
are
getting
really,
it up at Diana's, but they don't have any right now.
yeah,
I don't think they've started the crusher really up yet.
I don't think they have either.
No.
There's a shortage of 57s now too.
before I forget, I don't know if Stu was gonna say on it, talk about it. You can get number 9's wash gravel out of Phoenix down in Magnolia, and it is really clean. We're gonna try and run some through the Durapatcher. It's like $8 a ton compared to 29.
Oh, wow.
Maybe
We're gonna try it.
Yeah, why not?
I even called Mike out there
Why
at
not?
Dexter's, you know, where we bought the machine from.
Yeah.
And he said a lot of the southern counties, like
Use that.
Tuscarawas County and some of them down that way where there's so much farther away from limestone and stuff, it costs so much to get it trucked down there. He says they're starting to
Use
try it.
wash grout, use
Yeah.
gravel. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Well,
Yeah,
not only that, they could go get it too.
yeah,
It's close.
yeah, it's close.
Good.
So what we have to weld on the sweepster? What happened with it?
There's
Wear
just
and tear?
some cracks and stuff on it.
You're just
And
reinforcing it.
and we just put all new brushes on it.
Okay.
We just went over it, touched some things up. It's in really good shape. Just kind of went over it while we were doing the brushes. Things that we saw after we tore the brushes out from underneath it. We just went ahead for the first time really ever and had to touch a few little things up, nothing major.
Okay. Anything else for road?
I did want to bring up that, I was hoping I could get POs for these two things. I called about knives and the clevises for the flail mower. And that came to $505.16. And then the four knives that I ordered and bolts, 4 bolts for the boom mower came to $344. So I was gonna ask if we could, on the flail mower,
What
ask
company?
for $550.
Are they separate companies?
Separate companies,
All right.
and the fact is, I was just on the phone with them. They were gonna bring this stuff this week. Usually I have it
What companies are we dealing with?
Motrim,
Is that the
Five-
550?
Dexter, Motrim from Cambridge, that we bought the flail mower from, and then Dexter's, I think out around Bucyrus, where we bought the.
What's the
mower
second
from.
total?
Second total was $344,
Even?
even.
So Dexter is the 344 and Motrim's the 505?
505.
No, 505 is the flail mower, and the boom mower is the 344.
I know, what are the vendors?
Motrim is the.
Motrim is the 505.
Yep, and Dexter is the 344. There you go. All right.
And they're gonna drop them off for us, so we don't have to pay the freight on either one, so that's gonna almost save us $100 right there.
Great.
between the
Do
two.
you need this in two motions?
Yeah.
Trustee Bureau moves to pay Motrim $505.16 for clevises and knives. And Trustee Bureau moves to pay Dexter $344 for bolts and knives for boom mower repair.
Trustee Varian seconds both of those motions.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And that should be enough to take us through the whole summer for those two.
Great. That's great to deliver them. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that was really nice when they both kind of
Yeah,
said that.
That's great.
Mark from Motrim said he was coming and going to Cleveland here this week. He said, how far are you off 77? He said,
Close, baby.
About 3 miles or
Yeah,
something like
good.
that. He said, I'll just drop them off. I said, that's nice.
Nice.
Good.
All right. Let's move on to the zoning report.
Since the last meeting, had 4 different permits. Sign, garage, and addition on a house. The last one was for a variance that they had some issues. They were supposed to have in February, had to push back to March, and then they decided it'd be best to just cancel.
Okay.
So
Do we need a refund that 175 or was it never
They do
paid?
not get a refund.
variances don't get.
Okay. No
I
refund.
did just turn in the money today because I forgot it on my desk.
Okay.
But yeah, they had some issues, so they decided to cancel and they're
Okay.
going a different route.
Okay.
As far as nuisances go, I heard back from the auditor or the prosecutor's office. Over at Old Indian Run Church, she gave me another address for Chris.
For the landowner.
Okay.
So I sent a letter to that address. I also talked to the health department and they were out and they issued a letter too that comes, they have to have it cleaned up by April 1st.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's per health department. Okay.
So they must have had some specific
Yeah.
violations with them, like rodents or, because they only do certain things.
They looked at the trash along the side of the building and I know they looked at a swimming pool that's there.
Yes, swimming
I
pool
know
would be a
they,
violation.
I'm gonna assume they cleaned up all the tree debris and everything, even on the other side.
Kind of looked cleaned up a little bit, but
Yeah, it looked
It looked better. Good.
Mhm.
Good.
Good.
I know today I drove by and there was a truck that was kind of blocking the view of the side of the building where all the trash was piled up, so I don't know if they cleaned it up or not. Over on Indian Run, Mr. Lawson's property, she just asked me to give her an update if any appeal was made for that BZA decision. So I let her know today, no appeal, so I'll see what she comes back with now. And then as far as Ravenna goes, she said just kind of keep doing the same thing. Is how they have it right now. See what happens with it.
Can you, I had a person complain to me about, someone moved a mobile home in on Westfall. I think it's Westfall. But they said it moved from one side of the road to the other. And we had talked about that one, and I thought maybe this was that.
It could be because the property that moved it on has on Westfall and on Hill Church.
So I thought maybe that was it, one that we've already discussed.
I most likely was
Perfect,
because it was across the street and they were going to move it over to their property.
okay. And then I do know the zoning committee's working on that issue and seems favorable to bringing something to regional planning on that. We said that, were they gonna decide on that?
At the next meeting.
Yeah, did we send something to the prosecutor on that or we didn't?
Not,
Okay.
no.
So that'll be their meeting in April, no, March, next Monday. Okay. Okay, anything else on zoning?
That's all I have.
A quick point of clarity on the sign.
Mhm.
Do we have all of that in our book as far as like setbacks and size and
Mhm.
are digital signs also in our book in the township?
I don't think it's specifically pointed out
Okay.
digital.
I was just curious.
Yeah,
I know it's pointed out billboard versus like a
Okay.
different type of sign.
a
For,
different type of sign, but it's something maybe to think about because digital, I know there's been problems with some of them that are using those really bright lights.
oh yeah, they're causing
So
accidents.
maybe
because they're
make
so
a
bright.
note that zoning may need to talk about.
Well, the reason I bring it up is I'm sitting in a variance hearing tomorrow in Louisville for a sign they want to put at Paradise Church where I'm the director of the preschool. So I'm the representation for the church for that. And the sign builder's coming, but I was just curious on that. So we'll see what Louisville has in their book
Yeah.
tomorrow.
See
You
what
know?
it says. I know
So-
there's been some problems with some signs
Okay.
with that.
This
what's the
one's
name of
not
the light?
digital. This is just a,
No, that's
Yeah.
just,
I don't know.
It's
Small
LED of it, man.
yeah.
Is that the really bright?
You can turn them down. I mean, yeah, but there's one that just went up in Louisville, the old Kuntz Memorial Building that's really bright. And it's at night. It's hard to drive by. So,
Yeah, that was
so they
the
can be
problem.
turned down, but yeah. So,
But
well,
for
thank you.
us, yeah, you wouldn't want a sign like that
Now,
or
in this
shining in your house.
scenario, this is a place of business. Is that what they're asking for?
it's a home occupation.
Okay. All right, got it. Okay, thanks.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Old Township business. We already talked about it. That was the phone updates.
Yep.
So we're good there. We're gonna move on to new business, approval request to change collection agency. We've already done that. We moved to the Attorney General.
Okay.
Designate proxy for retirement insurance renewal. And
Part of our yearly insurance renewal, they have this proxy now, they want in there where you assign somebody and an alternate, which a lot of times that follows what we did on the reorganizational meetings, stuff like that. But if there's any claims or any issues, then as fiscal officer, I sign up, but most of the time I'm doing a lot of that stuff with either a president of the board or someone, one of you guys.
so are you saying you would be the individual?
I could be the individual.
So I would make a motion that we make fiscal officer Larry the individual that's in charge of the risk management authority.
Second,
All in favor?
All right.
And now we need an alternate for that. I guess,
I can be the alternate.
all right, I'll nominate Mr. Varian, the alternate for the risk management authority.
second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. And so I think you have to, do they sign?
Yeah.
All right. Sign on the alternate line there.
Okay. Yeah, got it. So what
Okay.
would you like the title to be? Just township trustee?
Yeah.
Okay.
So while he's signing, I'm gonna move on to SCOG. We had our, excuse me, quarterly meeting. And they're gonna be having some changes coming forward. One is the lady that runs the crime lab is gonna be retiring within the next couple of years here. And they're trying to start some session planning, which they don't have. So they're gonna break down into 3 different committees. one for this replacement of the head of the crime lab, which is going to be a hard search for that. Second is they're reviewing hourly wages of the employees at the crime lab. And what's the third thing? Oh, looking at bringing the DNA testing to the crime lab, which we don't do, we send it off. Causes a problem because sometimes if they would have to wait too long for results back, sometimes the trials get thrown out because they don't have the results.
I've heard that, not just here, but other places, a lot of places.
It is, but it's going to be very expensive to bring the DNA testing. A lot of new equipment, new employees, and the Stark Council of Governments, which is us, we pay into that.
Oh.
We fund that. All the townships, villages, and cities go together and fund the operation of that. And that budget's over $1 million. I mean, it's a large budget. So all of these decisions will affect our budget. And all three of those decisions is an increase in costs.
How is it voted that we say yes or no? Do we as township trustees vote on this, or is the rate just raised if they decide?
Well, the they is the representatives at SCOG, which is me. That's why I'm bringing it back to you guys. So
Got it.
for me, I'm going to go and ask you, and our consensus is going to be my vote.
I see.
But I did not, you had to volunteer to do these extra committees. I mean, all the vote will come back to the main membership of SCOG representatives, but I did not volunteer for one of the committees because I just don't have time to do it.
What do you think the increase will be? Do we know yet?
No clue. I can tell you that the workers at the crime lab probably are not paid up to par to other crime labs, so they're probably going to have increases. They haven't had wage increases for a long time. And to replace the director of the crime lab that one's going to be very difficult. And then to bring DNA testing in, and everybody wants DNA testing, but it not only is going to require more personnel, it's going to require special equipment. So I would say that the costs are going to be very significant. And when they get broken down, I don't know what that cost would be back to, us individually.
Right.
But just a heads up that we will see some changes there. And they did acknowledge they received our approval of the new funding formula.
Yes.
So that was my update on that. So with that, do we have any other business?
Yes.
Oh, one thing. Did I say I wasn't going to be here next meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I've received this in the mail, just to let you know, I want to prepare this. Our group rating group, the Sedgwick Company, they just sent the new one. The annual fee is $1,285. It's about $50 higher than what it was a year ago. But I'll be preparing this. Myrna wouldn't be here at the next meeting. I thought if we could.
Do you want a motion to do it right now?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the total again?
$1,285.
1,000.
And this is for the 1/1/24 through 12/31/24.
Did you say Sedgwick?
Yes.
Sedgwick. Trustee Barry moves to pay Sedgwick $1,285.
Trustee Puro seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I will take a motion to adjourn and pay bills. Oh, wait, Mr. Piro had one thing.
Two things.
Two.
Can I forget?
Because I forgot one. Go ahead.
I went to the health department meeting. That was the best 2 hours of my life. I brought a case of COVID test kits. They've got like several skids down there. So if any organization or anybody,
Okay.
then they're going to expire
Oh,
in the next couple of months. But they also said that as of August, COVID will be downgraded to a class B, where it will no longer be a virus or anything.
wow. Good.
They're kind of in the same issues, funding, they're running short, starting to have funding issues, and they're having staffing issues. Not so much in their main people, it's their field staff that they're having trouble retaining people.
Yeah.
It's probably mostly nursing and healthcare.
Well, not only that, but it could be the people that go out and test water, go
Yeah,
out and
yeah.
test septics, the field, the on boots people.
Right.
The other thing I have is you ought to do some research on House Bill 1. I don't know if you know what House Bill 1 is. It's introduced in the State House they're trying to eliminate the income tax. On the front, it looks very bad. It's bad for local government, schools, and everybody. I talked to Representative Stolfus for a long time, and he claims it's a long ways out, that anything they do, that they're trying to fix it on the back end. So you just have to look into it and read it a little bit. It's just something everybody should know, and if you should maybe call your rep and voice your opinion.
Didn't Scott talk about that too at the last meeting we were at the?
He probably did.
Yeah,
Because he said that.
but you, unbelievably, first time ever, you couldn't really hear him. So he
Yeah,
had a little bit of laryngitis.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, he said,
yeah.
Representative Reggie said that he wouldn't support anything that would affect
Local,
us.
yeah, local.
Yeah,
But-
local government.
Like I said, if there's another House Bill like 519, he said, that restores some of this. They're just trying to find a way to do everything
Mhm.
without
Yeah.
harming anybody and getting rid of the state income tax. That's what the goal is.
Yeah.
It's to make it a more fair share pay. It's got to
Yeah.
go through the House, the Senate, and back to the House and get all, so we're a ways off.
They've got, I think with all the new people that came on board, because there's something down there at the State House right now that they're exploring bringing back using a saltwater brine on the roads. They used to do that a while ago, and then with all the environmental things, they stopped using it. And somebody's got a bill down there to bring it back, and putting it back on, using it on the roads and stuff.
I don't know how that could, I thought they still did it. I didn't know
No.
they quit, but I don't know how it could be any worse. They put enough on these county roads now to turn them white. I mean,
Well,
I would
and
think,
that's
I would
not
think the
brine,
salt
that's a-
brine would be so much easier than that stuff they're making. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
that
remember
stuff
when Rick
is bad
Lasser
on
used to make
equipment.
those batches up for the state. I mean, that stuff just eats everything.
It does.
It's hard on the roads.
But yeah, so there is a bill
Yeah.
down there to bring that back. So I don't know how that would affect us. I know they used to use it for dust control too. So, but anyway, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn and pay bills.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
All right.
do you think that guy that you used for that? Can you guys do, was looking for more?
Mhm. Super nice guy. His name's Michael Dammer.
Record this.
Local guy. Local guy. Yeah, I'll send you his info. I'll send you his stuff.
Text.
Yep, he's worth every penny.
Yeah.
If you jump on a very
Where you going
orchards,
on
you
vacation,
look back
man?
through
Taking
for the
me
last
back to
6 months,
Disney.
anything posted is through him, and I created none of it.
I was supposed to be retired.
All I did was send him pictures and data, and he created all that. I just
How's
don't.
Nancy been since she got
And
back?
Megan would start
She's
doing
doing
it, and
good.
she's
She's
like,
on